is crisp, carrying the scent of burning wood and the distant metallic tang of the Tiber River below. You stand on the balcony of your villa, wrapped in a heavy crimson wool cloak that barely keeps the chill at bay. Below you, the city is a sprawling sleeping beast, a beast you have finally tamed after decades of war, yet one you know you can never fully trust. The title, Dictator Perpetuo, weighs heavy on your mind this morning, heavier than any armor you ever wore in the campaigns of Gaul. It is a strange paradox of your life. You have conquered the known world, expanding the map to the edges of the ocean. Yet, you have never felt more isolated than you do in this crowded capital. The silence of the morning is not peaceful. It is expectant, waiting for your command. You rub your temple, where a headache has been throbbing for days, a rhythmic, pounding reminder of your own mortality that no physician can seem to cure. The Senate just voted you honors that would make a god blush, but their applause sounded hollow, forced, and fearful to your ears. You look at your hands, calloused from the reins of a horse and the hilt of a sword. These are the hands of a soldier, not a king. Yet they try to put a crown in them. You sigh, your breath ghosting into the cold air. The summit of power is a lonely, frigid place. You turn back towards the warmth of your room, but the cold seems to follow you inside, settling deep in your marrow. The paperwork piles up on your desk like snowdrifts in the Alps. Petitions, laws, judgments, grain doles. The endless administrative machinery of running an empire requires your constant attention. You sit at your table, the oil lamp flickering nearby, casting long wavering shadows against the frescoed walls of your private study. Your scribe has long since fallen asleep in the corner, his head resting on his chest. But you work solely on, fueled by a restless energy. You are redesigning the calendar, bending time itself to your will to bring order to the chaos of the seasons. It is a task that requires precision, logic, order, things you love and understand. But chaos is always scratching at the door, waiting to undo your work. You pause, the stylus hovering over the soft wax tablet. You can feel the resentment of the old families, the optimates, who smile to your face and curse you in their private dining rooms. They hate you not for your failures, but for your success. You are the man who forgave his enemies, who welcomed them back with open arms. Is that your greatest strength or your fatal flaw? You trace the grain of the wood on your desk. You want to build a Rome that lasts 1,000 years, but you are building it on a foundation of envy and hidden malice. The lamp sputters, and for a second, the room plunges into darkness before the flame catches again. It is a small thing, but it makes your heart skip a beat with a sudden, undefined dread. The festival of Lupercalia is a riot of noise and color, a chaotic celebration of life and purification that fills the forum with shouting. You sit on your golden chair, watching the runners strike the crowd with leather strips, their laughter bright and sharp against the drums. Mark Antony, flushed with exertion and adrenaline, breaks from the pack. He climbs towards you, sweat glistening on his bare chest, and offers you a diadem, a ribbon of white cloth, a crown. The crowd falls silent instantly. It is a heavy, suffocating silence that hangs over the forum like a storm cloud waiting to burst. You see the fear in their eyes. Rome hates kings. Rome expelled the Tarquins centuries ago. You push the diadem away, your voice firm and loud, echoing off the temples. I am Caesar, not a king. The cheer that erupts is loud, but it is a cheer of relief, not adulation. Antony offers it again. You refuse again. It is a piece of theater, a test, but the audience isn't clapping. You feel a cold knot of anxiety in your stomach. Even your friends do not understand. They think you want the trinkets of power. They do not see that you carry the burden of the state itself, the weight of every law and every legion. You order the diadem sent to the temple of Jupiter. Let the god have the crown. You only have the headache and the suspicion that grows with every cheer, a suspicion that perhaps the people love their liberty more than they love you, their savior. You walk through the portico of Pompeii, the marble columns rising like a forest of stone around you. It is ironic that you conduct the business of the Senate here, in the shadow of your great rival's statue. The air is cool and damp in the shade, a relief from the oppressive city heat outside. Senators bow as you pass, their white togas rustling like dry autumn leaves. You catch snippets of conversation that die away as you approach. Whispers. They are always whispering, silencing themselves when your shadow falls upon them. You see Cassius, his face lean and hungry, his eyes shifting away from yours, refusing to meet your gaze. You see Brutus, the son of your heart, looking troubled and distant. You stop to greet him, placing a hand on his shoulder. He flinches, a microscopic movement, but you feel it under your palm like an electric shock. Is all well, Marcus? You ask gently, searching his face for the boy you once tutored. He creates a smile that does not reach his eyes, a mask of duty. All is well, Caesar. You know he is lying. The bond between you, once so strong, feels frayed, stretched thin by politics and opposing duties. You walk on, the echo of your sandals loud on the stone. You are surrounded by hundreds of men, yet you are walking alone. The shadows between the columns seem to stretch towards you, dark fingers trying to snag your hem and pull you down into a darkness you cannot name. Tonight, the city feels oppressive, the air thick and humid despite the season. A storm is brewing in the mountains north of the city. You can feel the pressure of it in your joints. An old ache from old campaigns was in Gaul and Spain. You dismiss your Spanish bodyguard, sending them away to their quarters despite their protests. I will not live in fear, you told your friends when they begged you to keep a guard. It is better to die once than to live always expecting death. Now, sitting alone in your study, you wonder if that was bravery or simple arrogance. You pour a cup of wine, the red liquid swirling in the silver goblet. It tastes sharp, metallic on your tongue. You think of the rumors that have been filtering in, notes left on Brutus's praetor chair. Brutus, are you sleeping? Scrawls on the statues. Rome is restless. It wants a martyr or a hero, and it cannot decide which you are. You sip the wine, listening to the first rumbles of thunder in the distance. The gods are angry, or perhaps they are just indifferent to the struggles of men. You have always trusted in your luck, your Fortuna, the goddess who has guided you from the slums of the Subura to the height of the Palatine. But luck is a fickle mistress. You set the goblet down. The wine looks too much like blood in the dim light, staining the silver with a portent you dare not voice. The storm breaks with a violence that shakes the very foundations of the Domus Publica. Rain lashes against the roof tiles like a barrage of Parthian arrows, a ceaseless drumming that drowns out all thought. Lightning illuminates the room in stark, blinding flashes, freezing the world in moments of blue-white terror. You stand by the window, watching the water flood the courtyard, turning the well-tended garden into a swamp. The wind howls like a wounded animal. In the bedroom, Calpurnia cries out in her sleep, a sound of pure distress. You go to her, sitting on the edge of the bed. She is thrashing, her hands fighting invisible enemies. The house is falling, she gasps, waking with a start, clutching your arm with desperate strength. Her eyes are wide, seeing things you cannot see. I saw the pediment collapse. I saw you. She stops, unable to finish, buried in sobs. You soothe her, smoothing her hair, speaking in a low, calm voice. But her fear is contagious. It seeps into you through her touch. Dreams are just dreams, you tell yourself. The mind playing tricks in the dark. But as another peal of thunder cracks directly overhead, sounding like the sky itself tearing open, you cannot help but feel that the heavens are trying to tell you something. Something terrible is coming, riding on the wings of the storm and the whispers of men. You look at the mosaic floor, watching the water pool in the depressions of the tiles. Each drop ripples out, disturbing the image of a hunting scene. It feels like an omen. The hunter is being drowned. The hounds are scattered. You shiver, pulling your tunic tighter around you. The dampness has settled into the stone of the house, making the marble cold to the touch. You wish for the dry heat of Egypt, for the sun of Spain. But here, in the heart of your power, there is only the storm and the cold. The morning of the Ides dawns grey and sickly. The storm has passed, leaving behind a heavy, suffocating fog that clings to the streets of Rome like a shroud. The air is still, but it is a tense stillness, like a breath held too long. You feel exhausted, your bones aching from the dampness. Calpurnia begs you to stay. Her face is pale, her eyes red from weeping. Do not go, she whispers, holding your toga. Send Antony to dismiss the Senate. You hesitate. The fear in her voice is real, and honestly, you feel a deep, inexplicable reluctance yourself. A heavy lethargy binds your limbs. Maybe you should stay. What is one day? You are the dictator. You answer to no one. You begin to dictate a message to Mark Antony, telling him to adjourn the meeting. The relief on Calpurnia's face is immediate, a flash of hope. You sit down, closing your eyes, listening to the rain drip from the eaves. It feels like a reprieve, a step back from the edge of a cliff you didn't know you were standing on. For a moment, the weight lifts. You will spend the day reading, resting. The Senate can wait. Destiny can wait one more day. The world will not end if Caesar rests. You imagine a quiet day of reading scrolls, far from the prying eyes of the Senate and the demands of the mob. The message to Antony is sent. You watch the slave run out into the rain, his sandals splashing in the puddles. You turn back to the room. It feels smaller now, the walls closer. You pick up a scroll of philosophy, trying to lose yourself in the thoughts of the Greeks. But the words swim on the page. Epicurus speaks of pleasure and the absence of pain, but you feel only a dull ache in your chest. The silence of the house is not heavy anymore. It is fragile, like thin glass waiting to shatter. You can hear the servants whispering in the hallway. A knock at the door breaks the quiet. It is Decimus Brutus, not Marcus, but Decimus, your friend, your general, a man you named in your will as a secondary heir. He enters with a smile, shaking the rain from his cloak. He sees the mood in the room immediately. Caesar, he says, his voice jovial, easy. The senators are waiting. They have prepared to offer you the title of king for the provinces today. He laughs when you tell him of Calpurnia's dreams. It is a gentle laugh, but it stings your pride. Caesar, will you let it be said that you dissolved the Senate because your wife had a bad dream? What will they say? That Caesar is afraid. His words are hooks, catching on your pride. He knows you too well. He knows that you cannot bear to be thought a coward. He paints a picture of the old man waiting, of the mockery that will follow if you stay home. He takes your hand, pulling you up. Come, for your dignity. You look at Calpurnia. She has turned away, defeated. You look at Decimus. His eyes are bright, friendly. You trust him. You nod. You call for your tunic. You have let pride decide for you, and the die is cast. You step out of the sanctuary of your home and into the trap set by those you call friends. Decimus watches you dress. His eyes follow every movement. He hands you your belt, your dagger. No, not a dagger. You are unarmed. You leave your weapon on the table. A dictator does not need to arm himself against his friends. You see a flicker of something in Decimus's eyes as you leave the blade behind. Relief, pity. It is gone too fast to be sure. You step out into the hallway, the sound of the rain fading. You are committed now. The path is set. You walk towards the door, leaving the safety of your home behind. The streets are a chaotic river of people. Clients, petitioners, shopkeepers, slaves, all shouting your name, waving papers, trying to touch your hem. The noise is a physical wall, thick and impenetrable. You move through it, your lictors clearing a path with their fasces. Make way for Caesar. The chant is rhythmic, hypnotic. You feel a strange detachment, as if you are floating above the crowd, watching a procession for someone else. The grey sky presses down on the city. You see a face in the crowd, Spurina, the soothsayer, the man who told you to beware this very day, earlier in the month. You stop, a smirk touching your lips. The Ides of March have come. Spurina, you call out, a challenge to fate. He looks at you, his eyes sad and unblinking. Yes, Caesar, but they have not yet gone. The chill of his words cuts through the humidity. You brush it off, moving on, but the exchange lingers. The confidence you felt a moment ago flickers. You clutch your toga tighter. The crowd feels too close, too pressing. You see faces you don't recognize, eyes that watch too closely. The city feels less like a home and more like a cage, and you are the animal being herded towards the slaughter. The smell of the crowd is overwhelming. Unwashed bodies, garlic, damp wool. It catches in your throat. You try to breathe shallowly, maintaining your composure. A woman reaches out and touches your arm. Her fingers, rough and calloused, she whispers a blessing. You nod to her, a reflex of the politician. But your mind is elsewhere. You are thinking of the Parthian campaign, of the maps you were studying last night. You are thinking of glory, while the city thinks of blood. You are walking through a dream, disconnected from the reality of the cobblestones under your feet. A man pushes through the line of lictors, frantic, sweating. Artemidorus. He is a teacher of Greek rhetoric, a man you know slightly. He holds a scroll high, waving it like a weapon. Read this, Caesar, he screams over the din. Read this alone and read it instantly. It concerns you nearly. Most petitioners ask for money or favors. This man asks for nothing but your attention. There is a desperate urgency in his eyes that arrests you. You take the scroll. It feels heavy in your hand, heavier than parchment should be. You try to open it to read the first line, but another man grabs your arm, begging for a pardon for his brother. Then another blocks your path. The scroll gets pushed down, rolled up in your hand, mixed with other petitions. You hold it against your chest. I will read it later, you think. When I am seated, when there is quiet, you do not know that you are holding your life in your hand. You do not know that the ink is screaming the names of your murderers. You derive comfort from the weight of the paper, unaware it is a shield you are refusing to use until it is too late. The fates trying to save you, but the noise of the world is drowning them out. You look at the scroll in your hand one last time. The seal is broken, the parchment worn. It looks important, but the noise is unbearable. A trumpet sounds in the distance. The senators are waiting. The republic is waiting. You cannot delay for every scrap of paper. You hand the scroll to a slave, telling him to keep it safe. I will read it tonight. You promise yourself tonight, when the work is done. You do not know that there will be no tonight. You step forward, leaving the warning in the hands of a servant who cannot read. You arrive at the theater of Pompey. The Senate is meeting here while the Curia is being rebuilt. Another irony of your reign, to be a guest in your enemy's house. The complex is vast, a monument to the man you defeated. His stone eyes watch you from every archway. You step out of the litter. The noise of the street fades, replaced by the hushed, disciplined murmuring of the senators. They rise as you enter. Hundreds of white togas standing in rows. It looks like a sea of white caps on a stormy ocean. You scan the faces. Is there guilt there? Is there fear? You see only respect, or the mask of respect. Mark Antony is detained at the door by Trebonius, engaged in some long conversation. You feel a flicker of annoyance. Antony should be at your side. He is your right hand. But you proceed. You are Caesar. You do not wait for anyone. You walk towards the cruel chair, the ivory seat of your office. It sits at the base of Pompey's great statue. The path is clear. The stage is set. You feel a sudden, intense fatigue. You just want this day to be over. You sit, pulling your toga about you, preparing for the boring drone of speeches. You close your eyes for a brief second, wishing for the silence of your villa. You pause at the entrance to the theater. The statue of Pompey looms above you, his stone face stern and unforgiving. You salute him silently, a gesture of respect from one soldier to another. You wonder if he is watching from the Elysian fields. Is he laughing? Is he weeping? You straighten your toga, adjusting the purple border. You must look the part. You are the state. You step across the threshold into the lion's den. The air inside is cooler, smelling of old incense and fear. The door closes behind you with a heavy thud. You sit. The wood of the chair is cool against your back. The senators crowd around you immediately. This is not unusual. They always want something. But today, they are pressing closer than normal. It feels aggressive, intrusive, vibrating with an energy you don't understand and cannot place. Julius Simba is at the front. He starts begging for the recall of his exiled brother. His voice is a whine, grating on your nerves. Not now, Simba, you say, trying to wave him off. The time is not right. We will discuss this later. He does not step back. Instead, he grabs your toga, pulling it down from your shoulder. It is a shocking breach of protocol, a violation of your person. Why this violence? You cry out, trying to stand. It is the signal. You see the movement in your peripheral vision. Casca standing behind you. You see the glint of metal, not a stylus, a dagger. The world slows down to a crawl. You see the sweat on Simba's upper lip. You see the dust motes dancing in the shaft of light from the window. You realize, with a clarity that is more painful than the blade, what is happening. The wolf is not at the door. The wolves are in the room, and they are hungry, and you are unarmed. The light in the room is strange, filtered through high windows, catching the dust. It gives everything a surreal, dreamlike quality. You look at the faces of the men around you. Casca is sweating. His eyes are darting around the room like a trapped bird. You feel a sudden surge of pity for him. He looks so terrified. You want to ask him what is wrong, but Simba is pulling at your toga, his grip like iron. The fabric tears with a sharp ripping sound that echoes in the silence. It is the sound of the world breaking. The first blow strikes your shoulder. It is a dull, heavy impact, like a punch. Then the burning starts. You spin around, catching Casca's arm. You are stronger than him. You are a soldier who has fought in the front lines. Casca, you villain! What are you doing? You roar. You drive your stylus into his arm, fighting back. For a second, you are the lion again. You will not go down easily. But then the others are there. Cassius, Decimus, men you dined with, men you promoted, men you trusted with your life. They are a blur of white wool and flashing steel. They are hacking at you, clumsy in their haste, cutting each other in their frenzy to reach you. You struggle, parrying blows with your arms, looking for a weapon, looking for Antony, looking for help. But there is no help. The other senators stand frozen in their seats, watching in horrific silence. It is a spectacle, a sacrifice. You are alone in the center of the storm. The pain is distant, overwhelmed by the sheer, crushing weight of the betrayal. Every face is a friend, every blade is a broken promise. You feel the blood soaking your tunic, warm and sticky, strength with every heartbeat. You feel the metal bite deep. It is a cold, sickly sensation. You are not afraid. You are angry, furious. How dare they? How dare they touch the person of the dictator? You strike out, your fist connecting with someone's jaw. You are fighting a hydra. For every hand you push away, 3 more appear with blades. The smell of blood fills the air, heavy and metallic. It is the smell of the battlefield, brought into the Senate. You are drowning in it. You slip on the polished floor, your sandals finding no purchase in the gore. Your legs are failing. The floor is slick with your own blood. You stumble back, blinded by the crimson running into your eyes. You are still fighting, still trying to shield yourself. Then you see him, Marcus Brutus. He pushes through the ring of assassins. His face is pale, his eyes full of tears. He holds a dagger. You stop fighting. The will to survive drains out of you instantly. Not him, anyone but him. If Brutus wants you dead, then survival is meaningless. If your own child, your heart, believes you are a tyrant, then perhaps you are. You lower your arms. You look at him. Etu, brute. The words are a whisper, a question that has no answer. You pull your toga over your head. You will not let them see you die. You will not let them see the pain in your eyes. You wrap yourself in the dignity of your office. You surrender, not to the knives, but to the heartbreak. You feel the sharp bite of his blade, and then only darkness follows. The roar of the conspirators fades into a distant buzz as the world tilts and disappears. The betrayal of Brutus cuts deeper than any knife. It severs the last cord holding you to life. You look into his eyes and see not hatred, but a terrible, resolved sadness. He believes he is doing right. That is the tragedy. You are not dying for his ambition, but for his ideals. It makes the death meaningless. It makes it a misunderstanding written in blood. You close your eyes. You do not want to see the world anymore. You pull the darkness around you like a blanket. You fall. The stone floor rushes up to meet you. You land at the base of Pompey's statue. Your blood sprays across the pedestal, staining the feet of your old enemy. The ironies of your life are complete. You lie in the dark of your toga, listening to the sounds of the world fading away. The screams of the senators fleeing the building. The rough panting of your murderers. The drip, drip, drip of blood on marble. The pain is fading now, replaced by a cold numbness that spreads from your chest. It is not unpleasant. It is like the cold of the Rubicon, but deeper, more permanent. You feel a strange sense of release. The burden is gone. The paperwork, the wars, the politics, the expectations, all gone. You are just a man again, a man dying in the dark. You wonder if Calpurnia is still sleeping. She does not wake soon. You try to form a thought, a final word for history, but the silence swallows it. The roar of the ocean fills your ears. The tide is going out, and you are drifting away with it, leaving the shore behind forever, sailing into a night without stars. The cold of the stone seeps into your back. You can feel the vibrations of the footsteps running away. They are leaving you, the master of the world, abandoned like a piece of refuse. You want to call out to them, to tell them that it is settled, that the debt is paid, but your throat is full of blood. You can only gurgle. A bubble of crimson bursts on your lips. You watch the light fade from the ceiling. It is turning grey, then black. The long night has begun. Silence follows the violence. It is sudden and absolute, sucking the air out of the room. The chaos of a moment ago, the shouting, the grunting, the tearing of cloth vanishes, replaced by a stillness that is heavy and terrifying. You are lying on the cold stone, your vision graying at the edges, but your hearing is unnaturally sharp. You hear the rasping breath of Brutus standing over you. You hear the metallic clatter of a dagger dropping to the floor. No one cheering, no one claiming victory, just the stunned silence of men who have committed a crime they called a duty. You realize, with a detached curiosity, that they are afraid. They have killed the tyrant, but they are terrified of the corpse. You want to laugh, a bubble of blood rising in your throat. Even in death, you command the room. You feel your heartbeat slowing, a drum losing its rhythm. Thump, thump, thump. The cold is moving up your limbs, turning your body into the statue you lie beside. You are becoming stone. You are becoming history. The light from the window fades into a soft, inviting grey that promises rest, a release from the noise of the living. The silence is not empty, it is full of the echoes of what just happened. The shout of liberty still rings in the air, a ghostly cry. You lie there, a monument to their failure. They think that by killing the man, they have killed the idea. They are wrong. You are more powerful now than you ever were in life. You are a martyr. You are a symbol. You are the blood that will water the seeds of the empire. You smile internally. You have won. In dying, you have become unconquerable. The pain is gone now. There is only a vast, expanding greenness. You feel light, untethered, as if the ropes of the world have been cut. You are floating above the scene, looking down at the bundle of crimson-stained wool that used to be Caesar. It looks so small, so human. Is that all there was? Just flesh and bone? You see Brutus lifting his bloody hands to the empty seats, shouting, "Liberty! Freedom!" But his voice cracks. He looks small too, a boy lost in a ruin. You feel a strange pity for him. He thinks he has saved the Republic. He does not know he has just set it on fire. You see the other senators huddled in the corners, eyes wide with horror. They are not liberated, they are paralyzed. You drift higher towards the light filtering through the high windows. The dust motes are still dancing, indifferent to the murder below. The world continues. The sun shines. It is a revelation. You were the center of the world, but the world does not stop spinning without you. You feel a sense of lightness, of freedom you have not known since childhood, before the wars began, before the ambition consumed you. You float higher. The roof of the theater becomes transparent. You can see the whole city of Rome spread out below you. The hills, the river, the winding streets. It is a map of your life. You see the Subura where you were born, the Forum where you fought with words, the Campus Martius where you fought with swords. It is all one story, and it is finished. You feel a sense of completion. The painting is done. The artist puts down the brush. You turn away from the looking up into the vast open sky. Time seems to distort here in the grey. Is it minutes later? Hours? The room is empty now. They have all fled, running from what they did, running from the wrath of the mob or the vengeance of your legions. You are alone again, just you and Pompey. His marble face stares down at your body impassively. You remember the old wars, the rivalry, the respect. You defeated him in life, but he has welcomed you in death. It seems fitting. Two titans sharing the silence of an empty theater. The shadows lengthen across the floor as the afternoon wears on. The pool of blood darkens, drying into a map of a conquered territory. Flies buzz in the stillness. The only mourners present. It is a lonely end for the master of the world. No pomp, no eulogies, just the cold stone and the buzzing of insects. But there is peace in it. The terrible noise of ambition has finally stopped. The constant demand to be more, to be greater, has been silenced. You rest in the quiet, watching the dust settle over the end of an era, knowing that peace has finally come. The flies are the only movement in the room. They land on your hand, on your face. You do not brush them away. You cannot. You are part of the cycle of nature again. Dust to dust. The great Caesar is food for insects. It is humbling. It is right. You are not a god. You never were. You were just a man who tried to reach the sun. And now you have fallen. But the fall was magnificent. You rest in the shadow of Pompeii, two old friends reunited in the silence. The doors creak open. Hesitant footsteps echo on the marble. Three slaves enter, moving like frightened ghosts. They stop when they see you. One of them weeps, a soft, sincere sound that echoes in the vast emptiness. It is not a senator or a general who mourns you. but a slave. They approach slowly, respectful of the dead lion. They touch your cold hand. They try to wrap the tattered toga around your wounds, a futile attempt to restore your dignity. They lift you. You are heavy, a dead weight of meat, bone. They grunt with the effort. You are not a god to them. You are a burden. Yet they carry you with a gentleness that the noble Brutus never showed. They carry you out of the theater, out of the shadows, into the fading light of the city you built. It is a humble procession. No lictors, no eagles, just three men carrying a fourth home. You feel the rhythm of their walk, a gentle swaying that rocks you into a deeper sleep, a lullaby of motion that comforts your weary spirit. The slaves wrap you in the toga, hiding the wounds. There are darker stains on the purple border. They lift you with a grunt. You are dead weight. They carry you awkwardly, stumbling on the uneven stones. It is not a dignified exit, but it is real. It is honest. They do not carry you for money or for fame. They carry you because you were their master, and in your own way, you were kind to them. It is the only true loyalty you have found today. You let them carry you home. The journey home is a blur of motion and hushed voices. The streets are strangely empty, the shutters closed. Rome is holding its breath. They carry you through the forum, past the rostra, where you gave so many speeches. The silence of the city is louder than any ovation. You feel the rhythm of their steps, a swaying motion that reminds you of a ship at sea. You are crossing another river now, one wider and darker than the Rubicon. You pass the temple of Vesta. The sacred fire is burning inside, tended by the virgins. Will it go out now? Will the luck of Rome fail with you? You feel a pang of worry, a reflex of the responsibility you carried for so long. But it fades. It is not your problem anymore. You are a passenger now, not the captain. Let Antony worry about the fire. Let Octavian worry about the future. You are just going home. The evening air cools your skin, a final caress from the city you loved more than your own life. A city that has now rejected you. The procession moves through the darkening streets. The lamps are being lit in the houses, little points of light in the dusk. You watch them flicker as you pass. Each one is a life, a family, a story. You fought for them. You bled for them. Do they know? Do they care? It does not matter. You did what you had to do. You followed your star, and it led you here, to this stretcher, to this twilight walk. You are at peace with it. The city is beautiful in the blue light. They bring you into the Domus Publica, the familiar scents of your home, lavender, beeswax, old cedar, wash over you. But they smell different now. They smell of the past. Calpurnia is waiting. Her scream shatters the stillness of the house. It is a raw, primal sound of validation. Her nightmare has been birthed into reality. throws herself on your body, disregarding the blood that stains her dress. She touches your face, her tears hot on your cold skin. I told you, she sobs. I told you. You want to comfort her. You want to tell her that she was right, that you were a fool, that you are sorry, but your lips are sealed with the finality of death. You can only watch her grief from the distance of the void. It hurts more than the daggers to see the wreckage you left behind, the human cost of your glory. You wish you could wipe the tears from her face, but you are smoke now, unable to touch the solid world, forever separated by the veil between the living and the dead. Calpurnia's grief is a physical force. It hits you like a wave. You wish you could tell her that it doesn't hurt anymore, that you are fine. But the wall between you is impenetrable. You watch her weep, and you feel a profound sadness, not for yourself, but for her. You have left her alone in a dangerous world. You hope Antony will protect her. You hope Octavian will be kind. You say a silent goodbye to her, a final kiss, ghosted on her forehead. Night falls over Rome. The city is a powder keg, waiting for a spark. You lie in state in the atrium, cleaned and dressed, your wounds hidden beneath fresh white wool. The wax mask of your face stares up at the ceiling, serene and blank. It is the face the world will remember. The man underneath is gone. Outside, the mob is gathering. You can hear their low rumble, like the ocean before a storm. They are confused, angry, frightened. They want answers. Antony is out there somewhere, plotting. You know him. He will use this. He will turn your death into a weapon. You feel a strange sense of pride and horror mixed together. Even dead, you are the most powerful man in Rome. Your ghost will lead armies. Your name will burn cities. The Ides of March was not an end. It was an interlude. The real war is just beginning, and you are the cause. The silence of your death will be answered by the roar of the legions, by the thunder of boots on the stone, by the cries of the dying. You created an empire of the sword, and now the sword has come for its due. The mob outside is getting louder. They are breaking store windows. They are setting fires. The chaos you feared has arrived. But it is not a chaos of destruction. It is a chaos of birth. The old republic is dying in the streets tonight. The empire is being born in the flames. You are the midwife of this new age. Your death was the necessary sacrifice. You accept it. You welcome the fire. Let it burn. Let it purify the corruption. Let a new Rome rise from the ashes of the old. The days blur. Then the funeral. The Campus Martius is a sea of humanity. The noise is deafening. Wails, shouts, the clashing of shields. Antony stands on the rostra. You hear his voice, rich and resonant, rolling over the crowd. He is reading your will. He tells them you left your gardens to the public. He tells them you left money to every citizen. It is a master stroke. He is buying their love with your ghost. You watch the mood of the crowd shift. The sorrow turns to rage. They are not mourning a tyrant. They are mourning a father, a benefactor. Antony lifts your bloody toga, thrusting it into the air on the tip of a spear. The crowd sees the rents in the cloth, the dried stain of your life. They howl. It is a sound of pure, unadulterated fury. They rush the pier. They pile up benches, chairs, tables, anything wood. They are building a pyre. They will not let you go quietly into the earth. They will send you to the gods on a pillar of fire. The consuming heat is their love, and it is terrifying. The funeral pyre is finished. It is a heap of broken furniture, a chaotic mound of wood. They place your body on top. The rough wood presses into your back. You can smell the pitch and the oil. Antony lights the torch. You see his face, illuminated by the flame. He looks grim, determined. He throws the torch. The fire catches instantly. It roars to life, a living thing. You feel the heat, but no pain, only a sense of acceleration. You are rising. You are becoming light. The flames rise, hot and bright, eating the wood with a crackling hunger. The heat washes over your cold form. The wax mask melts, the features dissolving into tears of oil. Your body begins to burn. You feel yourself unraveling, turning into smoke and ash. It is a purification. The blood is burned away. The weight of the flesh is burned away. You rise with the smoke, drifting up into the Roman sky. Below you, the city is chaotic. Riots are breaking out. The houses of the conspirators are burning. The fire you started is spreading. You look down at the forum one last time. It looks like a toy set from this height. The great temples, the basilicas, the statues, all so small, all so fragile. You feel a sense of final detachment. Rome is just a place, a spot on the earth. You are something else now. You are a memory. You are a legend. The wind catches your spirit, carrying you higher into the ether, far beyond the reach of swords and whispers. You leave the solid world behind for the realm of ideas. The smoke is thick and black. It billows up, blotting out the stars. You ride the column of smoke like a chariot. You are leaving the earth behind. The shouts of the crowd fade. The heat of the fire fades. You are entering the cold, clean air of the upper atmosphere. You look down one last time. The fire is just a spark in the darkness. Rome is just a glowing ember. You turn your face to the stars. The journey is just beginning. You drift in the ether, a consciousness without form. You see the years unspooling below you like a scroll. You see the wars that follow. Brutus dying on his own sword at Philippi, Cassius defeated, Antony falling on his blade in Egypt. They all follow you into the dark. The blood you spilled breeds more blood. It creates a river that drowns the Republic. You see a boy, Octavian, rising from the ashes. He is cold, calculating, brilliant. He picks up the crown you refused. He becomes Augustus. He builds the empire you dreamed of, but he builds it on your grave. You watch the marble city rise. You watch the eagles march to the ends of the earth. They carry your name, Caesar. It becomes a title, a word for power itself. Kings will call themselves Kaiser, Tsar, Kaisar. You have achieved immortality, but the price was everything. You watch history unfold, knowing you wrote the first chapter in your own blood. Your ambition changed the geometry of the world, and now you are part of the bedrock. You see the boy, Octavian, standing in the shadows. He is watching the fire. He is planning. He is calculating. You smile. He is you, but colder. He is you, without the mercy. He will finish what you started. He will build the marble city. He will be the first emperor. You give him your blessing. Hail, Augustus. You whisper in the wind. He looks up as if he heard you. Then he turns and walks away into his destiny. You watch him go, proud of the son you chose. The centuries pass in a blink. The stone of Rome crumbles. The empire falls. Barbarians walk the streets you paved. The language changes. The gods change. Jupiter is forgotten, replaced by a new god from the east. But your name remains. It is carved in stone, written in books, spoken by children in schoolrooms 1,000 years later. You are the tragic hero, the ambitious tyrant, the military genius. You are a play performed on stages in lands you never knew existed. You watch actors wearing togas pretending to be you. They shout, "Et tu, brute," to applause. It is strange to be a character in a story, to be trapped in the moment of your death forever. You want to tell them it wasn't like that. It wasn't poetic. It was just cold and painful and sad. But the story is stronger than the truth. The myth is stronger than the man. You are trapped in the amber of your own legend, a prisoner of your own fame, playing the same scene for eternity. The legend takes hold. You see the statues rising. You see the temples being built. Divus Julius, the divine Julius. You have become a god. It is amusing. You know the truth. You are just a ghost. But if the world needs a god, you will play the part. You will be the star they steer by. You will be the name they swear on. You accept the mantle of divinity. It is just another office, another title. You wear it lightly. You look back at the Rubicon, that small, muddy stream, the moment of decision. If you had stopped there, if you had turned back, would the world be different? Maybe you would have lived a long, quiet life. Maybe the Republic would have limped on for another century. But you were not made for quiet. You were made for the storm. You realize now that there was no choice. The current of your life was always flowing to this waterfall. The Ides of March was written in your blood before you were born. You feel a sense of acceptance, no regrets. A man can only be what he is. You are Caesar, and Caesar conquers. Even death is just another province to be annexed. You look at the path of your life and see a straight line, drawn with a sword, leading inevitably to this silence. It was all a tragedy of character, and you played your part to the end. The Rubicon is far behind you now. All the rivers are behind you. You are in the ocean, the vast, shoreless ocean of eternity. You feel the currents of time flowing through you. You are part of the water now. You are part of the tide. You flow into the future, touching every shore. You are in the ink of every history book. You are in the stone of every monument. You are Caesar, and you are everywhere. The void is vast and silent, but you are not alone. You sense them in the dark. The others, Alexander, whom you wept over in Spain because he had done so much so young. Hannibal, who almost broke Rome. They are here in the shadows, the club of the great and the terrible. You take your place among them. There is no need for words. You understand each other. The hunger, the fire, the loneliness of the mountaintop. You are just sparks that flew up from the anvil of history, burned bright and faded. But the burns you left on the world, those are permanent. You rest in that knowledge. You mattered in a universe of indifference. You forced the world to remember you. Your legacy is secure, carved into the DNA of the West, a ghost that will never fully exorcise itself from the world. You are among peers at last. The great ones nod to you in the dark. Alexander raises a hand in greeting. You take your place beside him. You talk of battles, of empires, of the fickleness of fortune. You share the camaraderie of the lonely. You are not alone anymore. You have found your peers. The silence is comfortable here. It is the silence of understanding. You rest, content in the company of legends. The noise of the earth is a distant hum now. Rome is a speck of dust. The loves, the hates, the betrayals, they are all dust. You let go of the last threads of your ego. The name Caesar drifts away. You are just a soul stripped of rank and title. It is the first time you have been truly free. No senate to please, no mob to feed, no army to lead. Just the silence of the stars. It is beautiful. It is the peace you were always fighting for, but could never find with a sword. You close the eyes of your spirit. You let the current of the cosmos take you. The river flows on, and you are finally truly safe. The anxiety, the headaches, the fear, it all dissolves into the starlight, leaving only a calm, quiet stillness. You are weightless, free from the gravity of your own ambition. The last thread breaks, the ego dissolves. You are not Caesar, you are not dictator, you are light, you are energy, you are returning to the source of all things. The universe opens its arms to receive you. You float into the heart of the galaxy. It is warm, it is bright, it is home. You close your eyes and let go. The long march is over. The soldier is home. The last thing you remember is the light, not the harsh sun of the battlefield, nor the flickering lamps of the Senate, but a soft, constant inner light. The Ides of March are over. The winter of discontent is over. You have crossed the final boundary, the point of no return, and on the other side, there is no war, there is no pain, there is only silence, a deep, healing, eternal silence. You embrace it. You became the silence. You're no longer Caesar, the hairy one, the bald general, the dictator. You are simply energy, returning to the source. The play is over. The curtain falls. The audience is gone, and you are at rest. The world continues, but you are free. You have stepped out of time and into eternity, leaving the noise of Rome far behind. Veil, Caesar, farewell. The light consumes you. It is a brilliant, blinding white. It washes away the blood, the pain, the memories. You are clean, you are pure, you are nothing, and you are everything. The silence is absolute. It is the most beautiful sound you have ever heard. You smile one last time. Val, world, Val, Rome, Vale, Caesar. You step into the light and are gone.